Certain altcoins are getting bought up right now by Blackrock, and they're taking advantage of the huge, massive discount that we're having right now in this market. If you think this is interesting and want to know where Bitcoin is heading next, then make sure that you subscribe to the channel, like this video, and activate the bell so you will never miss out on these important updates, even though I'm still lisping with my stupid tongue. Then you know what to do. And now let's get into today's content here. And we're going to start off with me trying not to lispel here all the time, because it's horrible. Starting off here with the RSI heat map to have a look where altcoins are positioned right now. So what we are seeing here on the shorter time frames, most of the altcoins are right now oversold, and I will show you later onwards here in this video that many altcoins right now, due to the fact that they're oversold, are getting ready to move back to the upside. The only big problem that we have with that is, will that be a dead cat bounce or a new ignition of a rally into higher prices that we have not seen before the drop that we had on Friday. Now, when we look at Bitcoin here on the lower time frames, still quite boring. You could have traded here on a 50 minutes time frame Bitcoin quite a bit between support and resistance that had formed from $69,200 all the way up to like $69,600. We have here hit the higher range multiple times over the weekend, but overall it is quite a boring range. And until we are breaking above the higher range, we need to be prepared to potentially lose at the next retest of the lower range and move below that. For the time being, as things are looking as of now, there might be a potential reclaim of the mid-range, and once we are finding support here with multiple candles on the 50 minutes chart, we can get a little bit more comfortable to the fact that we potentially going to leave this range here pretty soon. When we're looking at the long to short ratio, here are some new developments since yesterday, because if you compare yesterday to today, you see that the neutrality here has increased and the bullishness decreased. Nothing left here on the bearish side. Actually, 1% was added to the bearishness. And again, I believe that these short takers, people that are opening short positions, will get massively punished here. So they had their day in the sun on Friday when the market went down. But again, you don't want to massively short in a raging bull run, especially when you know that historically June and July are really strong months in a bull run. That's why it makes no point to start shorting now, especially now it's anyway too late. But in general, to open major short positions in a bull market. When we are looking at the order book heat map to find out where next support and resistance are sitting, then again, here around the $70,400 level is the next major resistance to the upside, but also around the $70,000 level has now some sell orders concentrated themselves. And in terms of support, we need to go down quite a bit to find a strong level of support. The next bigger level of support is $68,200 once we are losing the $69,000 level. So that could be a $1,300 drop overall once we are losing the $69,000 level from current prices. On the higher time frames, things start to look also here a little bit more bullish. Again, this can still change over the next 12 hours, but for now, things are looking really good. We only need to stay above the $69,300 level to put in a major reversal pattern back to the upside. So, and that is a tweezer bottom where you have two candles next to each other, both with a small candle body more or less at the same height of the previous candle here. So the green candle almost as thick as the red candle that we had before in terms of body. They should be around the same height and bottom level, which they are, and have doji sticks to the up and to the downside. So, and also this is given here for both of them. So that could be already a really early sign that tomorrow we're gonna get a big reversal candle above $70,000. So again, I don't want to paint this yet on the wall because we need the daily to close at these levels. But if we would get a daily close at current prices, then the chances are massively increasing that we are pushing back into this big resistance level above us. If that is not the case, the current daily candle just moves a little bit lower, only $200 lower, that could open the doors for a continued waterfall drop to the downside with a retest of the $68,300 level. Again, there is major support. If we lose that, we could potentially drop all the way down to the fair value gap down here, around $64,600 to $63,500. CME chart, it looks like that we potentially not get a CME gap today. I'm not really surprised by that. When you see so big drops happening, what usually occurs on a CME chart is that either you get a really big CME gap or you get no CME gap. So here in this case, it looks like that we are not getting a CME gap based on historical price action. If we don't get a CME gap, we usually get a reversal back to the price level from where we initially dropped to the downside. So here in this case, I don't want to count this wick in, but this would bring us at least back to $72,000. On the liquidation levels, we see now people are getting bored in the market because the shorts and longs are coming more or less equally here into the market right now, above current price levels. So if you look at the distance between here and there, between the longs sitting below here and the shorts above here, there is the same distance between the current price action. So that means not a lot of people are shorting or longing right now at current prices because they don't know in which direction the market is really moving here. Shorters are afraid that we're getting a massive impulsive reversal back to the upside, and long traders are afraid of continuation to the downside and that we step actually down into this big long liquidation level here around the $67,000, and only from there would see then a move back to the upside. So that's why everybody is patiently waiting on the sideline to see what's going to happen over the next 24 hours here. And you will see this also on the liquidation heat map. The same concentration around 68,800 all the way up to $70,200. These are the higher time frame support and resistance levels right now. But I can tell you, once we are back above $70,000, we're gonna see a really quick and destructive move in direction of $72,000. And even to $74,000. Here is so much liquidity stacked up. It has to be taken out at some point. And again, we are in a bull market. This is happening rather sooner than later overall. So, but in terms of the $74,000 level, this might be happening around the end of this month or early July. Remember, July is one of the strongest months in an election year. So that's why I could imagine that we're going to see a big push into new all-time high as early as the end of this month or July. And guys, don't forget, if you want to trade with me together in this volatile market, do this on a BYBIT. You still get $30,000 if you use the link below here. And if you cannot use BYBIT, use Margex. There you can trade without any KYC with the link down below. And if you just want to copy trade me, go to FAIRDESK. There is still $120,000 in bonuses available with the link down below. And also don't forget that tomorrow I'm gonna announce a big giveaway that will be on a continuous basis with BYBIT. This will also happen at a later stage with different platforms, but I'm gonna tell you when that will be come into fruition, because only from that moment where I'm gonna announce it, your registration will count for that. So don't open an account just yet with Margex or FAIRDESK if you want to be part of the giveaway that's happening down the road, unless you really want to trade there now. But for the giveaway, it only counts from the moment that I announce it. With BYBIT, I made this a little bit different deal, but with the other exchanges, I'm not there yet. So take this in consideration before you sign up here. Now, the USDT dominance is running into major resistance here at the 4.56% level, and it looks like that we're starting to see a rejection from there. This is exactly what we want to see. Now we need to see some follow through by tomorrow, and of course that will help us to get above the $70,000 level. Let's talk about why you actually came here today. You want to see which coins Blackrock is gobbling up in this drop that we're experiencing right now. And one of them is, of course, Bitcoin and also Ethereum, but they're also looking at other coins. And there are exactly two other coins that they are looking at. One of them is that they are buying, that they are using more and more Ondo, and using for that their own digital liquidity fund that they have, which is called BYBIT. Now, when you go and check the BYBIT holders, there are only 13 of them. All of them bought Ondo, and what they are doing with that. So you see here, the last on this wallet, the last transaction was 37 hours ago, just right after the drop that we experienced, and that made sense, you know. So you want to buy as cheap as possible, and they did this through their BYBIT vehicle that they have. So now when we're going to the Ondo chart, you see here was a massive red candle to the downside. Let me just remove here the EMA ribbon. See here was also a massive flush to the downside here into the $1.70 level. If you would have bought down here at current prices, you would be up 10% already. Now, if you are BlackRock or you're one of their clients and you kind of knew that here is a bigger support level and you would have set there some orders, you would have made already a crazy amount of money. Imagine there was 400,000 Ondos bought by the institutional fund that they have, 400,000. So they are up already over $40,000 on that purchase on Friday. You know where you're going to push that, and they're not going to stop just now. I'm personally looking also at two different entries here for Ondo right now, based on the fact that we are heavily oversold on the stochastic RSI and seeing early signs of a reversal here on the stochastic, on the MACD. My first entry would be here around the 0.618 at $1.33 to $1.37. And if we, for some weird reason, keep dropping to the downside, I'm gonna use here the secondary entry below us, where we also grab liquidity on the move to the downside at $1.16 to $1.20. Why do I choose that position as a second entry? Because on the way up, this level gave us support and was tested multiple times, and from there we initiated the run to the upside before we experienced a Friday's drop. The upside initial target will be $1.70, and afterwards $2. These are the initial targets that I have on Ondo. Ondo is a coin that you can also trade on leverage. If you want to do so, then go and go to BYBIT, for example. There you can trade this. But otherwise, this is also a good coin to hold during the bull run here. Then let's talk about the coin that BlackRock is also connected to, and that all major RWA projects are going to use here over, I don't know, the next decade, I would say, unless there comes something better. Because this project, an institutional grade on-chain borrow and lending platform specifically for the RWA space. So, and the project I'm talking about is Centrifuge. I want to directly emphasize, I'm not sponsored by them. I have no relationship to them, nothing. I just found this yesterday. I found it and thought it's really interesting because the coin has a massive discount right now. And I'm sure BlackRock is gobbling this up on the side because the token is integrated in their ecosystem, and of course will facilitate everything what they want to do in the RWA space. Now, when we're looking at where we can find Centrifuge to trade, one of the platforms is OKX, Kraken, Gate.io, KuCoin. These are the platforms where you can buy this on spot. There's no leveraged pair yet for this coin, which is something that I actually like about it because it avoids a lot of manipulation in the market if there's no leverage involved. So that might be a really good gem here that we can trade over the next couple of months, especially at the current levels that we are at. So here is, in my opinion, a really good opportunity to get into it while we are still in that green buy zone area. So why I'm looking at to buy in this specific area? Really simple, because this area, if I go back here to a daily time frame, let me go back here. The initial run came from here after launch. On the way down, we got a little bit of support, then we broke the support, got a deviation, a big deviation, and then this specific level turned into massive resistance for 1.5 years, more or less, before we broke above it once again, got a deviation to the downside, but then confirmed it here multiple times as support, and now I believe this is acting again as support. And you see here the volatile moves, here 4 candles to get to the top of the range. So that was just in 4 days where we moved, I don't know, let's see here, let's just take from a range. Let's say I would have bought down here at the bottom to the top here, almost a 50% range. So this is quite volatile. We don't need any leverage on that, So if it needs 4 days to come up here, and sometimes only 2 days, so why would you need any leverage, So now look here at this last move to the upside. So there was almost a 100% move in a matter of less than a week on that coin. So I'm definitely right now trigger happy to accumulate a little bit of CFG here on KuCoin in that green box. My stop loss will be below that candle here at 49 cents. If we come down there, so there's almost a 20% move to the downside. That's where I'm going to cut it. But I also want to take profit here around the 84 cent level. So that gives me a 1-to-2 risk to reward ratio. And I'm absolutely happy with that. So unless we are breaking here slowly this time to the upside and more sustained, then I might raise that to close to $1 or above $1. So, if I would go and take a Fibonacci extension level tool, then the 1.618 would be at $1.50 right now. Let's see, where is the 0.618? Yeah, so I would be not wrong to take some profit off at 84 to 88 cents. And if we can move higher from there, maybe I'm gonna leave a moon back to $1.50. But this is one of the coins that I'm looking at right now, because most of the RWA projects will get their liquidity for borrow and lenders from centrifuge. So that's why I'm so bullish on it. We all know RWA is a big topic in this bull run. So I definitely want to have some exposure to this coin. Now, when we're looking at Ethereum got here a bounce from the 0.65, the golden pocket here, more or less, from the upper end of the golden pocket on the 4-hourly chart. Here also things are nicely lining up on the 4-hourly chart for continuation back to the upside. But of course, it's heavily depending on Bitcoin. Would I enter right now a trade? Potentially. If I would enter a trade on Ethereum, I would do it now. But would have my stop loss at $3,650 approximately. So more or less a 1% stop loss for a potential, so there's a high target. So if we move from here to the upside, I don't believe that we come anytime soon back down. So we're talking about here 18.5% move against a 1% stop loss. So that's definitely worth trying to take that trade here. The next one that I want to get more exposure to on leverage is Coti, because Coti, look at the stochastic RSI, heavily oversold. And when we see something like this, usually we get a massive pump to the upside. So this pump could go straight to this downward sloping resistance line here to 13 cents and 3. That is a 1%, a 1 cent move to the upside. A 1 cent move here to the upside right now is roughly 9% in terms of return. Now, if I trade this with 10x leverage, we are looking at almost 100% that I make only in that move, in that initial move here into the downward sloping resistance line. If I keep holding it, I can potentially write this up to something like 200%. Yeah, like 180, 200% to the upside. The next one is dydx. Also here, that trading range that we are in right now with dydx, from $2.21 here to the bottom of $1.82, is telling me that we are in a massive reaccumulation phase for dydx, but we are at a current level where I like to get to accumulate actually more dydx. Once dydx drops under $2 over the last couple of months, usually we're not staying there for a really long time and get really quickly a reversal back above $2 and continuation to the upside. And now, of course, after that massive drop here, from when was that? From April. So 2 months ago, that massive drop here to the downside. Since then, we are stuck in that bigger range here. But I believe next time when we come up to $2.22, that we're going to break through that and then finally see an attempt of retesting the $2.42, $2.50 level. And once we are breaking that, we are off to the races to $3 and above. Solana painting a similar picture to Ethereum right now. We have here a reversal pattern here, a morning star pattern, these 3 candles on the 4-hourly chart. Now we only need to break back into that prior support box, which is acting as a resistance right now from $122 to $160 approximately. Once we are seeing this reclaim, you can get a little bit exposure already here from Solana. Remember, I told you yesterday here at $158, $159 would be a good moment to enter. For now, that has proven to be correct, but I would be still a little bit cautious here, like I said, with because of Bitcoin. If Bitcoin is not able to close at current levels, we should be prepared to see one more flush to the downside, and that, of course, will result also in all the other coins to see one more leg to the downside before we finally are ready to go back up. Guys, that's it already for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure that you smash up the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and wish me luck that tomorrow my tongue is fine again.